I really don't care what happens to her at all. I don't care. Like, everybody they tiptoe around with this social media, but what y'all don't get is that it be real consequence for y'all little flexes, y'all quick flexes for $300 that you need. It be consequences.
Teyana walked into court strong, but walked out shattered. Her steps were steady, her head held high, and her eyes showed the kind of strength only a mother could carry. She wasn't expecting much, just another legal check-in to sort through the logistics of co-parenting. But something about the atmosphere felt different. The courtroom buzzed with a strange energy, low murmurs and long glances from unfamiliar faces. Within moments, the judge's tone shifted, and Teyana's world began to unravel. Iman had filed for full custody. No warning. No heads up. Nothing. And as the room reacted with shocked silence, Teyana's heart cracked wide open. Her entire world collapsed right there in that courtroom. For weeks, things had seemed quiet between Iman and Teyana, but something was brewing. They were cordial in public, polite in texts, and always kept things smooth for their daughter's sake. But insiders noticed Iman pulling back, canceling visits last minute, skipping check-ins, being vague about scheduling. Meanwhile, whispers had started to spread in industry circles. Legal whispers. At first, Teyana didn't believe them. She thought they were just rumors from people who didn't want to see her and Iman succeed as co-parents. But those whispers were true. Iman had already filed for full custody, and he made sure the papers stayed sealed. Friends now say this wasn't just a surprise. It was an ambush. And Teyana walked straight into it, unaware she was about to be blindsided in front of everyone. In court, Teyana expected a basic custody update, maybe a change in visitation schedules or a new holiday agreement. But then the judge started reading Iman's motion. The courtroom air grew cold. The document listed accusations: emotional instability, unsafe environment, lack of consistency. Words that didn't just challenge her parenting, they attacked her entire identity as a mother. Teyana sat frozen, her mouth slightly open, eyes darting between the judge, the paper, and her legal team. "What is this?" she whispered to her attorney, who looked just as stunned. The betrayal hit her like a blow. It wasn't just the words, it was the timing. The secrecy. The quiet move made loudly in the most public space possible. And as those words, full custody, hung in the air, Teyana realized that Iman wasn't just fighting for more time. He was trying to take everything. As the claims were read aloud, something shifted in Teyana's body. Her breathing turned shallow, her shoulders began to tremble, and her face changed from shock to heartbreak. She whispered no, no, under her breath like she was trying to wake herself from a nightmare. Then, her body gave out, slumped forward in her chair, hands covering her face as sobs poured out of her. The courtroom went still. The judge paused the session. Her legal team jumped into action, trying to shield her, comfort her, help her breathe. But this wasn't a woman having a bad day. This was someone watching her entire sense of stability fall apart in real time. Security gently led her out of the courtroom, still crying, still broken. And before she could even regain her footing, cameras caught it all. The breakdown, the tears, the devastation. It leaked online before she even made it to her car. Iman didn't flinch. Not once. While Teyana crumbled, he sat stone-faced, arms crossed, lips tight. To some, his stillness was control, a man keeping calm for the sake of his daughter. But to others, it was pure coldness. He didn't look her way. He didn't try to speak. He just sat and waited for the judge to resume. His legal team didn't waver either. Confident, collected, they stood behind the motion as necessary for the child's protection. But to critics, the timing and delivery felt calculated. They saw a man using legal power to deliver emotional punishment. To them, this wasn't just about custody, it was about control. And whether you saw it as strength or silence, the message was loud. Iman wasn't asking anymore. He was taking. As the footage of Teyana's collapse circulated rapidly across social media platforms, the reactions poured in almost immediately, fast, furious, and deeply emotional. People were shocked by what they saw, some deeply hurt, others furious, and opinions were sharply divided. Screenshots of her tear-streaked face spread like wildfire across Instagram and Twitter, capturing a moment of raw vulnerability. Video clips showed her being gently helped out of the courtroom, her body seemingly limp from the overwhelming weight of the situation, her voice cracking with pain and disbelief. The images and videos created a wave of empathy from many who felt the situation was unjust. No mother should have to find out something like this in such a public, humiliating way. one comment read. Others, however, rallied behind Iman, defending his actions by insisting he's doing what's best for his child, no matter how messy it looks. Across every corner of the internet, heated debates ignited with fierce intensity. Was this the cruel, unforgiving side of family court laying bare the worst of human conflict, or was it simply a father trying to take control amid chaos to protect his child? The lines between right and wrong, loyalty and betrayal, blurred with each new post and shared clip. The emotional pain was tangible, both for those watching and for the family at the heart of the story. What had been intended as a custody hearing rapidly morphed into a public trial, not just of legal rights, but of morals, parenting philosophies, and power struggles. It was no longer about court documents or custody arrangements. It was about who deserved sympathy and who deserved blame. That very same night, Teyana took to Instagram Live. There were no filters, no makeup, just raw, unfiltered pain laid bare for millions to witness. Her voice was low and fragile, sounding like someone who hadn't slept, who hadn't stopped crying since leaving the courtroom. She explained the situation with a quiet desperation. "He didn't even warn me," she said, her voice trembling. "I had no idea this was coming." She shared that she had believed, despite their struggles, they were trying to work things out, for their daughter's sake if nothing else. She acknowledged the imperfections in their relationship but confessed she never imagined that Iman would file custody papers without even a word of warning. "I would never do something like this to him," she said, fighting back tears. "Not in front of cameras. Not in court. Not when our daughter could see." Her voice broke as the tears spilled again. The comment section flooded with messages of support, some fans sending love and encouragement, urging her to stay strong and fight for her rights. Others, however, advised her to walk away from the toxic situation altogether. Through it all, she admitted with a cracked voice, "This hurts more than I can say." And in that moment, millions of people watching felt that pain too, shared it, mourned it, and held their breath for what was to come next. In the days and weeks that followed, the fallout showed no signs of slowing. Legal experts began weighing in publicly, many predicting a long, bitter custody battle ahead, one that could even be televised given the intense media attention. Teyana's legal team moved quickly, preparing to push back hard both inside the courtroom and in the court of public opinion. Rumors swirled that she was planning a sit-down interview to clear her name, to tell her side of the story in her own words, away from courtroom clips and viral videos. On the other side, Iman remained steadfastly silent. No social media posts, no public statements, just an unsettling quiet. But insiders revealed that he wasn't backing down. Far from it. He genuinely believed what he was doing was right, that protecting their daughter's stability justified the secrecy and the shock. For Iman, this was about more than legal custody. It was about securing a future for their child in the face of what he saw as chaos. Caught helplessly in the middle of this storm was their young daughter, the one whose world was about to change the most dramatically. What had started as a private struggle between two parents trying to navigate fractured love and co-parenting was now a very public, messy battle played out on social media feeds and news cycles worldwide. As more details emerged, the story's reach expanded beyond just the family or the courtroom. It became a cautionary tale about trust, communication, and the painful consequences when those break down. The world watched, analyzed, and debated every step, every word, every tear shed by those involved. The intense scrutiny brought new challenges for everyone. Teyana's emotional breakdown was not just a personal moment. It became a symbol for many about the vulnerability that comes with parenting under pressure and public eyes. Her candidness in that Instagram Live video revealed a woman stripped of defenses, a mother desperate to protect her family and maintain some control over a rapidly spiraling situation. But with so many watching, the personal quickly became political, and the private became public spectacle. Iman's silence, too, carried its own weight. His decision to withdraw from social media and avoid public commentary left people guessing, filling in the blanks with speculation. Was he grieving? Was he regrouping? Was he preparing for a legal battle, or simply overwhelmed by the flood of emotion and public judgment? His single cryptic social media story, white text on a black screen stating "loyalty shouldn't come with conditions," spoke volumes without saying much. It suggested betrayal, disappointment, and perhaps a profound sense of loss. To many, it was clear that this wasn't just a custody battle. It was the unraveling of a deeply personal relationship, played out under a relentless spotlight. Meanwhile, legal experts highlighted that this case could set precedents on how custody battles unfold when complicated by infidelity, secret filings, and public breakdowns. They noted the challenge courts face in balancing the best interests of the child against the emotional realities of fractured families. For the child, the stakes were immense. The trauma of watching parents battle so publicly often leads to lasting emotional scars, experts warned. The little girl's experience, her needs and feelings, were suddenly a major focal point, not just for the parents, but for everyone invested in the story. As the battle intensified, it became clear that the story was not just about who would win custody or legal rights. It was about the deeper struggle to find trust after betrayal, to communicate in the aftermath of broken promises, and to navigate the heartbreak of shattered family dreams. The fight to protect a child's future had become entangled with adult pain, pride, and public judgment. Through it all, one truth remained painfully obvious. This family's story was no longer just theirs. It belonged to the millions watching, the countless voices debating, and the media machines hungry for the next update. What began as a painful personal crisis had exploded into a global conversation about love, betrayal, parenting, and the complex realities of family in the digital age. And as the drama unfolded, the one person most in need of peace, their young daughter, remained at the heart of a storm that showed no signs of letting up anytime soon. Was Iman's move smart and protective, or a cold-hearted ambush? Did Teyana deserve better warning, or was this bound to happen? Drop your honest thoughts in the comments. This one hit hard. Smash that like if you believe custody battles should never be surprises, and subscribe for more real, raw celebrity drama that exposes everything.